Welcome to our episode of Barman Saturdays, and this week I decided to take a look at The Little Wizard, which I got in my 15 movie family collection here. And you can tell just by looking at the box art, this one's going to be a really bad CGI film. Though ironically, this one isn't a foreign film, that someone picked up for cheap. No, this is a film that was apparently made in the good old US of A. It sounds like, we're proud of this, and we're going to give it some really weird story terms and just slap it out in the stores and hope it makes some money. It feels like one of those cheaply made Unity games that just gets shot out on the Steam, just constantly by some really cheap developers. Like, if we make a bunch of really bad games, we'll get at least someone that'll be willing to buy them. We'll put in like 50 minutes worth of effort at most, and then charge $10. It's a steal. I picked up a few of those recently for 23 cents a piece. I'm not gonna pay a buck for a game that was made that quickly. I'm like, with that little effort, I'm willing to give you 23 cents just because I get a Steam achievement, and it's just one more perfect game on my list, just to fluff it out a little bit, make me look like I'm actually, finishing some projects, and, I actually have the dedication to finish games, completely, when it comes to the whole achievement hunting thing, because that's not usually my style for a lot of games. I'm like, I don't want to put 100 hours in this to collect a bunch of achievements. I'd rather move on to some other project. But moving on, I suppose. The little wizard, guardian of the magic crystals, is just awful. Like, it's like a train wreck, like you just can't look away from it. Like, it's gonna smash into the car, or in this case, it's gonna keep smashing through various levels of badness, and just keep on chugging. It just can't stop. It's gotta keep pushing its way through, like an unstoppable object. At least it's also pulling downwards, so it's like going to the depths of the netherworld as it goes. Like it's just gonna sink deep in there and never come out again. At least I hope not. Maybe when they summon the demonic trains in like Final Fantasy and stuff like that, the Doom train, this is where it comes from. It's the little wizard. It's the metaphor for it, at least. It's the Doom train. It's coming for you. Thankfully, I was mostly immune to its powers, though, because I've watched Life is a Jungle. And that movie's so bad, it makes this one look good in comparison. Not much of a compliment there, is it? It's not the worst thing I ever saw, but only because I've seen something so bad, it's probably an illegal form of torture. But yeah, I suppose diving into the Little Wizard itself, the plot's meant to be a pretty simple setup of good versus evil, but they then have to make it complicated by throwing in a bunch of other random stuff that doesn't really move the main plot along at all. It's basically meant so you can have like two plots and we can try and weave them together, but the movie does this so poorly they just feel like loose plot threads. Like we're following two loose plot threads until we've reached an ending conclusion somewhere. They may never weave back together, but they're hanging out there. Like those kind of strings you rip off the end of your carpet they're poking out or whatever. Because I got those cheap carpets you just throw down on the floor, So if I see a loose thread, I'm just like, grab it and yank. I mean, sure, it probably makes the carpet even more likely to fall apart, but I'll be darned if I can't see a loose thread and want to just pull it, Sort of like if I see it on a shirt or something, like, I'll yank it, even though I know it's doing more damage than good to do it. Ugh. But for our main plot, we have this evil dragon / Draken, I think they call her, running around killing all the other dragons and other powerful beasts that could potentially stop her reign of terror, because she wants to be the most powerful being in existence, so she can rule the world. And our other plot threats, a war between two kingdoms over, one king is shiny things, effectively. I mean, they call them pretty things, but, we're just going to go shiny things, so we can, put in a Red Dwarf reference in there. But, yeah. You're like, gosh darn it. Like, we have to have a war plot that we don't even care about because it involves a king that's King Kinkadoo. Because, he's kinky and he likes to do food a lot. Like, I mean a lot. Like, I'm overweight. I won't lie, but gosh darn it, the King Kinkadoo has to weigh over 1,000+ pounds. Because he's constantly stuffing his belly with, dingleberries and whatever else he can get his hands on. Oh my. But yeah, he just never stops eating. He's like Pig God, only he's not even a hero. He's a moron that just loves to eat. Ugh. Like, seriously, there's a scene where he's talking about how we're going to war with another kingdom because they want to take my shiny things. And he's like, a war? We've never had a war before. This should be great. We should have done this sooner. Like, jeez. Like, you have no idea what a war is really like, do you? Is like, do you? Like, if you did, you wouldn't be so excited about it. And our other king is King Poot, you know. So yeah, they might as well just call him King Fart. I mean, it would have been just as effective, you know, because that's basically what they're trying to imply, right? Jeez, like, come on, guys, get above the potty humor, you know, a little bit. At least, you know, if it's thrown there on the side every now and again, you know, it might be not too bad, but it's a character's name. It's just, like, come on, come up with something better than that. At least be clever about it and come up with a name that, you know, would be implying something like that in a foreign language or something, so it may not be immediately obvious to people if they don't know anything about that language in question. Like you gotta be subtle with it so you can slide it in nice and gently and explain the joke later on. Oh well, at least we don't actually have a big fight scene with the war at any point. Because the one fight scene we do get, well, actually, there's like 2 fight scenes with the dragon, but the first one we get, you know, between the dragon and the mentor character who's called the Magistical, because that's their title. And yeah, I know, Magistical sounds like the name you'd give to a mage with swollen testicles, you know? Like, that's just a great thing to have. You're like, come on, guys, I know I got some swollen testicles, but you have to call me the Magistical? Like, that's not fair. But, gosh darn it. Like, you just hear that title and you're like, man, whoever came up with that title must have a really bad title themselves. Like, yeah, we're the Pixels. Like, what? Yeah, we're pixies, but we're called Pixels. Actually, I think they look more like fairies, but there's only really 2 of them in the entire film. And the size of one is kind of weird, because the queen fairy, or pixel, I suppose, looks about the size, you know, of your standard fairy. You know, pretty small, but probably unbelievably powerful. You know, powerful things come in small packages when it comes to fairies. You usually don't want to mess with fairies because they have all kinds of crazy powers that can screw you over. And just look at Jade Cocoon 2, where, you know, you get cursed by just touching a fairy on accident, and then have to go on a quest, you know, to save the world because of it, because you're like, oh, you have to get all these rare objects, you know, at the bottom of these dungeons. And if you don't do it fast enough, I'm sorry, you're going to become a monster. I'll help you out, but you look like the stupid type, so expect me to make fun of you all along the way. I won't lie. The fairy's probably the best part of Jade Cocoon 2, just because she's so sarcastic, but gosh darn, like, can you not, cure us of our, own inner darkness or whatever, so we don't become a monster? Like, nope, I can tell you how to fix it. I can't fix it for you. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Ugh. Outside of that, oh yeah, the ending. Ending's terrible. I mean, you got basically 2 parts in. You got to end the plot thread about the dragon, so how do they kill the dragon? With spoons! That's not even meant to be a joke, really. That's literally what they do. They throw a bunch of enchanted spoons at it. That have been enchanted by the Magistical's apprentice to be enchanted dancing spoons. They're like, yeah, we'll throw the spoons at the talking, fire-breathing dragon. Like, we'll just be like hundreds of spoons. Like, go, we'll hit so hard with these spoons it falls off a ledge and then blows up because reasons, okay? Dragons are like cars in movies. They hit the ground, they explode unless it was a landing. If they crash, kaboom! And then they commit genocide to start up the war. Like, they open up a crevice in the ground. King Poot doesn't stop his own men from just continuously walking to their death. He just lets them all walk into the crevice, and afterwards they seal it shut, so all the minions of King Poot are apparently stuck in the underworld, except for the 3 that can fly. He's like, that's all that's left. He killed all the rest of them through inaction. He just stood there watching them fall into the hole. He's like, I should probably do something about this, but watching my own men die like this amuses me, so let them keep marching on until there's none left, and I have to return home in defeat. Oh well. Just, jeez. But yeah, there's just nothing good about the little wizard. I suppose we now have a film that has a crazier way for killing a dragon than Dragon Hunter. Instead of using a sewing needle, or I should say a pair of sewing needles, we now have a wizard killing a dragon with spoons. I mean, I thought using a sewing needle to stab a dragon in the eye socket was bad, but at least it's more credible than I'm gonna hit you with so many spoons you fall off the edge of my tower. Like, okay. Till next time then. See ya.
Run, John! Run for your life! It's a spoon! Save yourself!
Sacred bar, que con